So I'm Terry Reeves. My mom is this beautiful lady here, Yvonne Reeves. She was inducted into the Softball Hall of Fame in 1990. She was selected to the World Team 3 times in her career, MVP of various tournaments and leagues over and over. She had a record of 925 wins and 130 losses. That's pretty good. And she was the pitcher. So when she was in high school, she played fast pitch. When she got out of high school, she and my dad married. Dad was a big athlete. He started coaching, and they were playing slow pitch. She'd never pitched slow pitch before. She said, as she says, I got bombed the first tournament. So she went home and learned. She taught herself how to pitch, slow pitch. And back then, I don't even know if the rules are that way now, you could pitch really, really high, and it had a limit. She can tell you all that. So she found out what the limit was, and she tied strings between 2 trees, put a laundry basket right behind it with towels in it so that she could go all the way to the limit, and she taught herself how to drop it right in. Men couldn't even hit her. So this is a huge accomplishment. This is a plaque that my sisters and I put together. It's a compilation of articles. We also have a video of her induction ceremony, but we didn't have any way to show that today. And I'm going to let her tell you some more, but I knew she would probably not get into the stats and tell you. She was one of the best softball pitchers ever to play. She still holds records after all these years. She played until she was 65 years old. Yeah. She's an amazing woman, both on and off the field. And I'm going to turn it over to her now, Yvonne Reeves. All right, speak up.
Unfortunately, I had a stroke, and while they were trying to do a procedure, so now that's left me this way. But I just praise God that I'm still alive, and instead of feeling sorry for what happened to me, I need to be thankful for what didn't happen to me. So I'm trying to adjust to that. But I started playing softball in high school. I wasn't allowed, I didn't get to play in any Little League programs growing up. We lived in the country. And so I played ball with all the boys in the neighborhood. And that was the way I got my background. And then, of course, I met my husband in high school. And he was a real good athlete. And we married early. And we stayed on the softball field. I have 3 daughters, and they have just been a miracle to me and to him. They stayed with him during his illness, and then I had the stroke and lost my valve during that time too. And as soon as he passed away in July, then in September, I had a stroke and had to have a valve replacement, and they took over that. And they stayed at the house with me 24/7 all the time. And I don't know what I would have done without them. And they're still taking over. But I don't know what I would do without them now. But I did, as soon as I got out of high school ball, there was a little team out in the country that begged my husband to start coaching. And I told him, I said, well, he'll probably do it because he loves it. But I can tell you all that some of us won't be playing next year because he'll recruit and get him some good ball players. And sure enough, he did. But the next year, we still basically had that same team. And we played through Georgia Recreation. That's the way we started out, Georgia Recreation. And we went to the Georgia State Tournament, and that's where I pitched 28 consecutive scoreless innings in slow pitch. That's almost never done in slow
Good for
pitch.
you. Wow.
You have to have a good defense behind you, and I did. I had a real good defense. And we were in the bottom of the 7th inning, and it was 7 innings you played in slow pitch. And we had runners on third base and nobody out. And a long fly ball would have scored a run, and we were tied up. And
Little pressure there.
yeah.
But didn't you hold them and there was no runs, right?
I pitched to the next 2 batters, and they got those out. And then the third one I got out too. But so they didn't score a run, and we came back and scored a run and won the tournament.
Wow.
And I set that record, and it's not been broken to this day.
Good for you.
But one day I was cleaning the house, and I had the radio going. I always listen to the Braves game. And I heard Milo Hamilton, who was the announcer at that time, calling my name, and I thought, I better cut this vacuum cleaner off and listen to what he's saying. And he was saying that I set a record of 28 scoreless innings.
Wow.
And he said, that's a record. I don't care what caliber ball it is. He said, that's a record that won't ever be broken. And so far today, it hasn't been.
Wow, good for you.
But my husband always tried to get us in tournaments to see what kind of team we were going to have for the year. So he got us in this little country team out in the country, and there was a creek behind the field, wasn't even a fence up there. And I'd never pitched slow pitch, so I started pitching, and I always put a spin on the ball. And they were just bombing me that day. They bombed me into the creek. And I said, I'll never do this again. So I went back home and learned to slow pitch. Like Terry said, I tied me some rope between trees, and then I pitched over the rope and let it come down into the, but it was slow pitch. And the slow pitch was, I played semi-pro ball. It was Major Open is what it was called. And we were getting ready to go into some tournaments to see what we had then. And I started slow pitch, and they scored 3 runs on me that day, and that was all. And we won the tournament.
What about your broken finger?
Okay, we were playing in Dalton, Georgia, in a little pickup tournament, and we had some girls that couldn't play that day. And we were down to 11 girls. You have to have 10 in slow pitch softball, and I was trying to field a line drive, and it didn't. When you're pitching, you're real close, and I couldn't get my glove over in time. It was coming this way, so I stuck this hand out to get it, and you can see it broke that finger there, and it won't stay in. But I didn't tell anybody. I just went on to play the rest of the game. And when I got in the dugout, I told one of the ladies that was working with my husband then, I said, I think I broke my finger. And she said, let's look at it. She said, it's broken, you can't go back in. I said, oh yes, I can. We didn't have anybody to go in, so I got to tape it together like that, and I pitched the rest of the game with that out. And we won that tournament, so good for you. It was worth it to stay in. But our first baseman was already hurt, and somebody else had gotten hurt, so we just didn't have any players that day. Usually we have excess players, but we didn't that day. But we did have a real good record. My husband was a perfectionist, and he was a very good athlete, and I knew it wouldn't take long for him to build that team to a team that was very competitive, and sure enough, he did. And,
He had a little help from you.
Well, he coached it though.
I know.
But we had a team that we could compete in any tournament we went to. And during this time, I had a full-time job and had 3 girls and had a couple of grandkids at that time, and they were all raised in the dugout. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, and then during that time also my husband was minister of music at a church, and I helped him with all of his drama for his cantatas, and we traveled a lot, but we always had somebody to fill in for him when we were gone. We tried not to be gone too long, but and then when I was notified that they were considering me for the Hall of Fame, I thought, gosh, why are they thinking about me for the Hall of Fame? And I said, I don't deserve it. And the lady that was helping my husband got all my record. And after I heard it, because the girls, you know, they were at the ball field all the time, and they didn't pay attention to it, and I didn't either. And I'd win an award, and I'd just forget about it. And so I don't even have any of my plaques or anything. But I had a long hall in my house where we used to live, and I had the trophies all lined up in that long hall, and all they did was collect dust.
And I saved your jacket there. You've got your championship jacket.
Yeah, one time I went from Major Open to church ball, and my husband helped the coach, and we won the church league championship, Mountain View Baptist Church. And I set all kind of records in that too. This was our state champs, church league in '87. And this was our jackets then. But then we went back to Major Open Ball, and I had a jacket from my national championship with the Major Open. And when we sold the house, we had a estate sale, and I think a lot of things were sold in that estate sale, and I believe a girl that used to be my neighbor bought that jacket. I believe that's what happened. Terry said she saw her come into the closet.
I'm gonna call her.
And she saw my jacket hanging there and said she got tears in her eyes and said, I want this jacket. So she got it, I think. But so many things happened to him, I don't know. You know, and right at that time, I didn't. And I think I had a big trunk, and it was an antique trunk. And my grandsons used it in college to store some of their stuff in. And one of my grandsons that used it in college wanted to buy it. It was a real antique, and he bought it, and I think it had all my plaques and everything in it. And I'm hoping that Terry's gonna call him and see if he had any of it. If he did, I'm sure he saved it, because I have.
He's proud of his grandma.
Well, I don't think they realized the record either, but Terry's gonna get together with them and let them all know what it was. And
I wish we had a way to play the induction ceremony, because that is where I just burst into tears when I saw it. I was there, but I didn't remember. It's been a while, and we're with her all the time, and we all grew up at the softball field. We ate dinner every night during the week at the softball field. And when I heard those numbers, and when I heard another person describing her, it just hit me in the heart, you know. And she's a special lady.
yes, she is. Well, the girls think I am, but
Well, that's good.
Now.
I only played for 4 coaches in my career.
Wow.
And my husband was the longest one of all. Coached me. And he did a good job, but the only thing about playing for your husband, when he'd get mad at some of the girls, rather than take it out on them, he'd take it out on me.
Of course.
And I knew what he was gonna say when we get home. In pitching, you have to interact with all the other people on the team, and if I didn't make the right step at the right time, it was my fault all the time. But that was okay, I didn't mind corrective criticism. So, we did have a real good team, and I just thank the good Lord that I was able to play to that status. And I was shocked when I made the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Oh, and this is my Hall of Fame ring right here. And then I've got this plaque over here that the
It's right
girls
there,
made
Mama.
for me.
Right there, over there.
And I did have black hair. I did. But that's it. I'm not gonna trouble y'all with reading it all. You can come up and look at it if you want to. It's the top one is my induction service. There was some coaches inducted and some people in the office inducted. Same time I was. And then that's a picture of me on the field pitching. And then this one down here is where he was handing me the big plaque and the ring. And my church coach spoke that night too. And then the husband and wife that helped my husband with all the records was there that night. It handled the induction service. But that's about it, and I hope I hadn't bored you too much.